Hi volunteers, it's Andy. I am so excited to be back with you for our first official service on the 12th. It's going to be great. And for those of you who are signed up, I just wanted to give you some quick insights into some things that we learned last week during our dress rehearsal. First, I wanted to remind you of the values that we're going to lead into this reopen with. 3 values. We're going to have grace with people as they come in and grace with each other, because we have a myriad of perspectives about this pandemic. We're going to do our best to remain positive. People are going to want to see smiling faces. People are going to want to have a positive energy as they're coming in, because people are excited to come back to church. And we're going to do our best to remain safe, because we understand that we have to do some different processes and some different things in the midst of this pandemic to keep our congregation safe. And so today in this video, I just wanted to walk you through what it will look like to do one of our most essential roles, ushering. Ushering is actually pretty much the key to helping our congregants remain socially distant from each other. So before we actually go in and see exactly what some of our roles as ushers are going to be like, I wanted to remind you of some best practices. First best practice, and this is kind of a given, but I just wanted to remind you, always be friendly. I mentioned that sometimes people may have some different perspectives about the pandemic. Some people may even come in without masks. What we want to do is we want to be as friendly as we can, and we want to positively redirect people towards things. Let's give people a mask and say, hey, here's a mask. If you would, please wear it in the sanctuary. We don't want to police them. We want to give positive language and positive redirection. We want to remain as friendly as we possibly can, understanding that perspective is very different about this pandemic. The second thing is that we want to make sure that we're maintaining social distancing at every point of the ushering process. And so this is going to mean a few different things as you're seating people. One, we don't want to seat people walking over each other's legs through the rows. And in order to do this, and I'll show you this in a little bit, we're actually going to assign rows per service, and we're going to put the people who have registered on the ends of the rows. And I'll walk you through what that's going to look like. The other thing that we need to make sure that we're aware of is that there should always be at least 3 seats between groups. And so if you have 2 larger groups that are on one row, you need to make sure that there's 3 seats between those people to maintain at least 6 feet. And in that case, it's actually 10 feet of social distance. And if we can follow those 3 things, we're going to be off to a good start for keeping our congregation safe and socially distant. Let's look at some of the specific roles. So this is a very important position for our ushers. This is going to be the registration checker position at each of our doors. So currently, we're standing at section A. And I wanted to give you some insights into how this position is going to play out. First off, we're going to have a list of all of the people who have registered for the red section A in your hands, as well as a list of all of the other registrants by alphabetical order. And you can see here. So we've got section A, and then in section A, it's alphabetical. What we find is that during the dress rehearsal, not everyone showed up to the appropriate door that they were assigned to, and that's okay. We'll talk through that. But we want to be standing here, not in front of the door, to the side of the door. And if someone comes up, we want to check their registration. They may have that on their phone, or they may have brought a paper copy in. Either is fine. Once we confirm, we're going to go ahead and send them into this little area where there's a sign that says, please wait here to be seated. And then the usher on the inside of the sanctuary will actually take those people and seat them. And so an encouragement for you, if you have this position, is please don't send more people in there than that one person who's waiting there. Once they're gone, you can send another group in to be seated. Now, one of the realities, like I mentioned, is that sometimes people may show up who are not registered for this section. Maybe they're in the orange section just down the hall. We want to positively encourage them and redirect them. Hey, if you're over in the orange section, it's just that way. Would you mind going in that door so that they can seat you in the appropriate seats? Hopefully those people will be willing, but if not, we don't want to turn them away. We can say, okay, come on in. Next time, if you would please go to your color-coded section, that would be great, and we can seat them. because again, we want to make sure that we remain friendly and positive in every situation. So this is the second key position for our ushers. This is going to be the usher seater within the sanctuary. So I am here next to the "Please Wait Here" sign, and what will happen is the person who's registering will send someone into this space. They'll be waiting, and then it's my job to take those people and to sit them in a safe and socially distant seat. So if you'll follow me, let's imagine that I've got someone. We're walking, and it's the IDP service. So if you come up this way, you'll see that on the chairs, we actually have labeled which services are for which rows. So the first row here is for the 8:30 traditional, the second row here is for the 10:30 contemporary, and then the third row here is for IDP. And if you remember earlier, we talked about those best practices. We are going to sit our guests in whatever size group they have. Maybe they've got 4 people on the edge here. So maybe it starts here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at that point, we thank them for coming and we go back and we come back over to the "Please Wait Here" and we grab the next group. So we take this next group. Welcome, thanks for being here. Come on, let's go sit. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk all the way around so as to not send those people across the legs of that previous group to that same row on the other side. And let's say that this group is a group of 3. Same row here of IDP, we're going to sit them. 1, 2, 3. And that way we're able to maintain and assure social distance for all 250 people who will be joining us during one of our services.